Hello everyone, my name is Dalton Lammers. I'm here at the mouth of Mill Creek Canyon. You might be able to hear the creek running behind me and some of the cars whizzing behind me because this is one of the busiest recreation zones, really proximate to Salt Lake City, along with Big Cottonwood, Little Cottonwood. These three are definitely some of the busiest areas that you can find around Salt Lake City. So while I'm out here, first off, I want to talk a little bit about my passion for the outdoors and what brings me out here so often. My father, when I was young, used to take me out camping, hunting, all kinds of stuff for me to really experience the outdoors for myself and grow that passion for the outdoors. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it then. Today I'm going to be talking about shed antler gathering or shed hunting, whatever you want to call it. You may have heard of it, you may have not, just simply because it is a fairly new topic to the field of natural resources. And going along with that fact, really in the last 5 to 10 years, this hobby or sport has gained a lot of traction in the outdoor community due to a number of reasons. There's a market for shed antlers. It's really almost like a treasure hunt when you're out there. It's super thrilling and exciting when you're able to find one. So yeah, with any new topic to wildlife resources or natural resources, there comes some new complications, right? So I'll bring up the example of drones. When drone flying became popular a couple years ago, managers and wildlife managers really had to step back and make new restrictions on where you can fly drones, where you can't fly drones. So let's go ahead and talk about if somebody wants to get started into shed antler hunting, right? So a list of states where there's really not a lot of regulations. In some areas there are, but Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, and New Mexico are pretty lenient on the shed antler hunting, meaning any time of the year you can go out into the woods and pick up an antler and take it home and enjoy that for yourself. But here in Utah, if you want to start into shed antler gathering, the first thing that anyone should do is get onto wildlife.utah.gov and go ahead and take the shed antler gathering class or permit. And that's super important to learn what kind of things you should and shouldn't do out there. Alright, so you may be thinking I'm just out here in the woods talking about this, but no, I have some antlers with me here. First off, we have a mule deer antler. This is a pretty nice one. This is actually one of the first antlers that I ever found, and I came across this antler and I was blown away. I was hooked from that point on. So next up we have the elk antler here. Sorry, the sticks. It's a little bigger, you can tell. Pretty cool to find out in the woods. And last but not least, we have the cream of the crop here, the moose paddle. Super nice condition. Moose antlers are a little more rare than elk and deer antlers, simply because they're harder to find. The areas where they live typically have more snow. I was pretty excited when I came across this one. I'm gonna wrap it up here at the house. So we got to see the antlers. We kind of went over the logistics, what you need to know before you start. And I'm gonna dive kind of deeper into that, into wintering wildlife and why that's important. So on the antler gathering permit class, you'll see a bunch of things on how to protect wildlife. As you know, here in Utah, the snow conditions can get pretty high up there. We can have some pretty tough winters, and that's pretty hard for wildlife. So let's take an elk, for example. They have their little home range in the winter where they got their food, their water, their shelter, everything they need to survive. So if someone comes barging through there looking for antlers, that animal is likely going to run off. And what we know about wildlife is that they store fat throughout the summer and they use that throughout the winter. Really, the take-home message from this is, first of all, get your hands on an antler, feel that thing. They feel super cool. Some of them are heavy. And most importantly, learn about wintering wildlife. Learn what you need to do when you're out there to protect those animals and keep them going for generations to come.